It's Mystery Fiction Interviews, co-hosted by Shakespearicles and Leviathan Eclipse, featuring authors from Fimfiction.net to tell us their stories behind their stories.
Welcome, bronies, to Mystery Pony Fiction Interviews. This is a show where I'll be interviewing MLP fanfiction writers that I've made audiobooks for over the last 5 years. I'll be joined by my co-host, Shakespearicles, the greatest writer in the universe, unless there are aliens who can write better, and Leviathan Eclipse is on the search for this possible alien writing. Each episode, I intend to bring on a new fanfiction writer to discuss themselves and their inspiration for their writing. This time we have a really prolific writer with a whopping 228 stories and 2,267 followers by the name of Jest. So, first of all, Jest, what made you come up with that name?
I was looking for a pony sona, and after some back and forth with friends, that one definitely fit, and so it stuck.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple one. Is it like short for like you're jester and you write comedy, or?
Nope, the joke was it's just jest.
Okay.
It's all for jest. It's all in jest.
All right, so that's the end of our "What's the deal behind your name" segment. So, all right, yeah, we'll go on to the first segment. Oh, actually, what I did want to do a little differently this time is, would you like to promote yourself and your socials here at the start of the episode? Because I know from reading your profile that you very much rely on people knowing about your Patreon and your getting commissions from you and stuff like that. So would you like to...
Well, actually, things have changed in the last few months, so I'm doing much better, so I'm just here for fun. No need to promote nothing.
All right, then. Okay, so yeah, we'll get into the first segment, which is Super Brony Origin Story. Tell us all about how you ended up here in this horse cult.
The memes got me. I was very confused. Why is everyone talking about ponies? Well, where did the horses come from? So I had to find out. I had to go looking. So I watched a bit of the show, and I was like, yeah, not bad.
And then whenabouts was this? Was this, yeah, like what year? How much of the show was out by then?
Well, it was shortly after season 1, so I was pretty young.
Yeah, that's where I did.
2012 was like the peak of the evangelical part of the fandom.
Yeah. And yeah, so shortly after, I think it's season 1 was midway through, or around there. Anyway, so didn't really stick, kind of bounced off of it. I'm like, this is for kids. And then I had a bit of a hard time in life, and wasn't doing too well, and I picked it back up, and for some reason, the second time around, it stuck like glue.
Cool.
And it's stuck ever since.
That's a horse joke.
Exactly. Someone gets it.
Yeah, so so how old were you when you first found out about it?
You know what? I'm not going to do the math. I'm just going to leave that one as a mystery.
Yeah, fair enough. I was going to try to trick you into telling us your age.
No, it'll be nebulous forever.
All right. So if that's all you wanted to say about that.
Indeed.
All right, then. So the first fic that I'm going to go into is called Rarity, I'm Pretty Sure You're Dead.
She's ice cold, calm and sewing on. Like undeath, there's nothing wrong. No screams, no fear, no tragic dread. Just mild concern, she might be dead. If the world should end tonight, at least the dress will fit just right.
So yeah, what do you want to tell us about how you came up with the idea for that fic, and yeah, whatever interesting stories you have about it.
Well, I was working a very shitty job at the time, and for some reason, my one coworker always got really sucked into whatever the hell she was doing. And it always, like, we made it some joke about how she probably wouldn't even notice if she just fucking up and died because she'd be too busy to make note of it. And I was like, oh, hey. And some friends and I were talking like, about My Little Pony, and we're like, you know what, this fits Rarity perfectly. Like, what if she just became a lich because she just didn't take note of her own death? And then after that, the sequels kind of spun out from that because I thought it worked really well, and I thought it'd be pretty funny. There was lots of jokes left to be told in that same vein. And yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw that there were a lot of spin-offs. Like I think you've like started kind of a whole novel expanding on how this sets it up. Of yeah,
Oh,
Rarity being a zombie, and I guess this fic ends with her having the idea to go and like stitch herself a new body or whatever.
yeah, which leads into the sequel, Stitched.
Yeah, I might consider reading that sometime, but really depends on how long it is and how if I'd have the energy for it.
Well, 18K words, and it's done, so
Okay.
I like it. But it's been a while. It's one of my older things, so.
Yeah. All right.
I'm
So
definitely gonna check that out.
yeah. So did you guys have anything to comment about the fic, Leviathan and Shakes?
Well, I just read it like an hour ago, and I gotta say it was just well done, good sir. That was just comedy gold right there. I just the delivery of just the deadpan um, jokes like from Twilight. Um, I mean, they aren't jokes to her, but like just trying desperately to convince Rarity that she's dead, but like every single time she's just like, "Yeah, no, I'm not dead."
Yeah, I particularly like the bit where I think it's at the end where Twilight is like, oh Rarity, are you gonna go and skin some pony and wear as a dress or something? And yeah, I just thought that was a cool part. What about you, Shakes? What do you have to say about it?
Well, you've had these podcast interviews on a very accelerated schedule for somebody with a full-time job like me. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be very useful for the actual commentary on the reading themselves. But upon looking at this story, it definitely is going to be something that I am going to read. Just your comedy has always been one of your strong suits, and this story has kind of inspired me immediately to write a story about Rarity being pregnant, and then its title being Rarity, I'm Pretty Sure You're Bred.
And
Nice.
I got him.
of course, the inevitable sequel, Rarity, I'm Pretty Sure You're Bred, but READ.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you didn't get a chance to read all these, Shakes. It's just Jess said that he wouldn't be able to be on until January if we didn't get it done now.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah, I'm
understand.
pretty busy.
We're all
It's all
pretty
good, though.
busy.
Yeah.
It's the current year. No, everybody's busy.
Current year and holiday season.
All right. Well, we can probably move on to the second fic we've got here, which is Spike Gets Smart.
Now I'm sharp, I'm quick, I'm never offbeat, I'm quoting lines and facts like I don't miss a beat. But the truth comes out, it's memory, not a spell. And maybe being smart means being myself as well. Yeah, I'm smart like me, no test can tell.
And I found this one pretty cool. Like I liked the jokes about well, I guess it was a memory potion that he ended up taking. But yeah, anyway, give us the synopsis, Jest.
Synopsis is well, a little bit of history first. It was very much born from a conversation on intelligence. People were getting very heated, as those kinds of conversations often go. But my argument was largely that intelligence is just good habits. 99% good habits. If you're just consistently curious and you work on having a good memory and you look up things that you think you're interested in, you will be considered intelligence regardless of upbringing, etc. So I kind of wanted to go into that and have a nice, hopeful message of, what really is, a smart potion. Would that actually make you smarter? Could it even affect something quite so nebulous a concept as intelligence?
Yeah, because
And of
intelligence
course,
is a lot of things other than memory.
yeah,
Is basically what Spike had, and I think it sort of highlights how annoying it can be to have one of those smart asses in your group that's constantly correcting your grammar, um, and stuff like that. And I think that's kind of how Twilight was portrayed in this, about how she kind of looks down on other ponies that aren't as book smart as her, and sort of yeah, shows a bit of her arrogant side in this.
yeah, but it's all good natured. Because Twilight would never think of herself as better, but those kinds of things kind of come up naturally. You don't have to be a bad person to,
Mm.
correct someone to be a bit overbearing. You can be an entirely very good person, but it just kind of comes up naturally and it can be a bit abrasive and, grappling with that is difficult, but I think necessary. And I think
Yeah, I mean, you wrote it
people.
well with how she wasn't aware that she was doing it. It was just, yeah, part of just the way she naturally thinks, I guess.
Yeah, she
Yeah, and I
wants to
think
help,
that,
and she views that as helping.
and that's a really good lesson to tell in a story, is that like, just be like, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. It's worthwhile to like seek that knowledge, and even if you had it, like, if even if you were the smartest person or the strongest writer, like, it w- knowing that like doesn't make you better than everyone else. Like, and like, I don't think that I'm better than everyone else either, and having that humility is what makes me better than everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. It's a humility
Next.
thing. But it's also kind of like, hey, if this is you, don't worry about it. Like, it's from a good place. You're doing this for honest and decent reasons. All you need to do is just look yourself in the mirror, have a good talk, and you're not really at fault. So just move past it, eat a little bit of humble pie, and you'll be good.
Yeah, this actually reminds me of a time in my life when I was basically in rehab for substance abuse, and I only two people there were literate, and the other eight people in the rehab were illiterate, and it it really kind of felt weird being like literally the smartest person in the place. So and I felt like there was quite a bit of resentment from the people that weren't literate. That I would use words that they wouldn't understand, like pretty ordinary words that most people use, but yeah, that they were words that were too advanced for a lot of the people that were there. So I guess that's kind of a way that I kind of relate to this story. And I think you were going to say something, Leviathan.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I really appreciated the way you wrote the interaction between Spike and Twilight, because um, it just gives off sibling vibes, in my opinion. Just the like petty um, fight that they have, but like also the way that they talk things out and make up in the end, and um, it I just love siblingy fluff like that. So thank you for that.
It's my pleasure. A lot of it is inspired by my own life. I like to be learned. I like to read, as you can probably expect. Um, so I have younger brothers. I have people, not all of them are as well read as me. I got older brothers. Some of them ain't as well read as me. So I've had this moment that Twilight's had before, and I've seen other people that have been in her shoes, in her shoes, so to speak, and I'm like, hey, trying to provide a path out while showing a cute little funny story.
Yeah, cool. So if that's all we've got to say about that one, shall we move on to the next fic we've got here?
Sounds good.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
All right. So the next story we're going to talk about is the best joke never told.
Corn, was that the punchline? Knock, knock, who's there? It's Pinky with flair. A crown made of cupcakes and jokes in the air. No script, no spell, no prophecy found. Just one good laugh and boom, got crowned. I didn't ask for royalty, just a laugh to unfold. But now I've got wings and a halo made of gold.
And I'm going to start off with, for you, Jest, knock, knock.
Who's there?
What?
What who?
What is the joke? What is the joke that Pinkie Pie never tells? Can you tell us now?
No, it shan't be told.
Damn it.
It's too good. It will burn your ears. It will drive any mortal man crazy with
It certainly drove Discord
hilarity.
crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I actually do know what the joke is because I was part of the brainstorming for this very story, and so all right. So mystery, you have to guess what?
What is the joke?
Guess what?
What?
Chicken butt.
Chicken butt.
Fucking got him again.
Guess why?
Why?
Chicken pie.
Chicken.
I got him a third time.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, I don't think I get it. Something's going
Don't
on
worry
in my
about
head
it.
there.
You see, you gotta throw a couple of kids into a female, and then you'll start telling these kinds of jokes.
Chuck a couple of kids into a female? Is that what you just said? Wow. Okay.
I love the
I mean, there's a
euphemism.
term for that. There's, that word that I probably shouldn't say on YouTube. But there's a term,
Well, you
term for that.
you might call it raising kids. I call it raising cream pies.
Okay.
Somehow I knew you were gonna go there.
Or crotch biscuits, or semen demons, or muffins.
So cursed.
All right.
It's
So
just,
anyway,
it's just raising cum as a pet.
yeah, what was
Anyway.
your motivation behind this story, and what are the stories behind the story?
This one's pretty simple. I just really enjoy like those. It's very much a classic comedy formula from Saturday morning cartoons. Guy wants to know joke, things keep interrupting, shenanigans ensue, then the entire episode ends without the joke being told.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? I was at the time I really wanted to get into that headspace of like writing a Saturday morning cartoon. What would that look like? What would it look like with these characters? And this is just one of them.
Yeah, I mean, this is really the a good example of a comedy fic, and it's fun seeing Discord. Like he's doing all these usual comedy things of throwing his hands in the air and all that sort of stuff. He wrote a lot of good stuff of what Discord was doing, and you really characterized all the characters well, and I mean, there was a lot of jokes in there. I don't know if I necessarily remember all of them in particular, but Yeah, it got a lot of laughs out of me.
All right, hold up. I just rediscovered something about this story. I didn't think I had read this story, but I did, and I commented on it in April of 2024, where I made the exact same joke.
That's
Small
funny.
world.
That's it's timeless.
Yeah, and this was a
Yeah.
really fun one for me to read as well. And so it's really fun to be able to like portray all the different characters and quickly switch between them. And it was really
Yeah.
good practice for that. And I'm sort of looking through it now for anything in particular that I wanted to mention.
Well, I really enjoyed writing it mainly because Discord's always, a very, I don't, it could be an odd word to use, but offensive character. He's always on the attack. He's always doing something. So when you place him on the back foot, when he is, unsure and shaken, he's pretty funny. And I feel like that bit of the angle hasn't been explored
He's
too much.
reactive.
Yeah, he's reactive rather than active.
I will say I do like the little bit of lore building that you did in there, where Twilight is like, actually, no, like, it isn't just like uh, great feats creating alicorns. It's just making beings immortal, and it can happen to any creature, but it usually just happens to ponies becoming alicorns.
Yeah, exactly.
I always appreciate
I
those small little details like that.
I cannot resist adding lore even when I probably shouldn't. So
Even in like a dumb little one-off that like you wrote as a
exactly,
joke.
yeah. Lore always makes everything deeper. It's just trying to maintain that balance between being over explaining versus under explaining.
I mean, I think you did pretty well. It definitely seemed like something that Twilight would say.
Yeah, so
That's good.
what do you think about the knock knock joke? Is it the lowest form of comedy?
Now, the fart joke is the lowest form of comedy.
Oh yeah, and they're
Still valid, though.
All the money in the world,
yeah,
all
the
the money
fart.
in the world is in dick and fart jokes. And like the reason why the show Wipeout was so successful for so long is because someone falling down is the most basic element of humor. And
Oh yeah.
and by the way, like this is something I wanted to mention earlier. The whole concept of like having there being a gag or a joke or whatever that keeps getting referred to but never actually gets told is a trope called the noodle incident, where you'd have two
I remember
characters
this
that would
one.
reference something that had happened, but you never explain what happened. Like oh, we're not doing this plan. We are not going to have another noodle incident. And like, what's the noodle incident? And it never gets explained, never gets answered. That's a trope, and this was done very well.
From Calvin Hobbes, right?
Exactly. See, oh, he
Yeah,
gets
I
it.
remember.
Man, we are
Yeah.
vibing tonight.
I love Calvin Hobbes. Ever since someone brought it up and it was said, this is just like the noodle incident, this is just like, what's the Marvel equivalent? This is just like back in X country or
Oh yeah,
that
with,
time in
with
Bangkok.
A
Oh,
One
comic
yeah,
time
exactly.
at band camp,
a comic
Yeah,
that I
with
read a lot was Order of the
with
Stick.
Black Widow, it's like yeah, anytime you have
Oh, yeah.
someone being like, yeah, oh, or like in Predator, for example, like, hey, remember Cambodia? Like trying to forget, just like that little reference where it's an inside joke between two characters that never gets explained, but it doesn't have to. It establishes that they have that camaraderie and they have that history, and you can use that for
Exactly.
comedy, you can use that for character building, you can do that for establishing relationships, but it's the same trope. And it doesn't have to be explained because brevity, as we know, is the soul of wit.
Exactly. Plus, it's always funny to end right before the punchline. The joke is on you in that instance.
Yeah, well, your
This is
curtains
why
are
I look
ugly.
forward to surgery, because then I'll just be like, hey, how do you keep an anesthesiologist in suspense?
Yeah.
Or reminds me of that Family Guy episode where they're like, You have AIDS. Yeah, you have got AIDS. Oh, I don't remember how exactly
I
the
don't
song
think
went.
that's the same joke.
Regardless.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to mention that it reminded me of is I used to watch a lot of Monty Python, growing up. And
We are the knights who say nay.
yeah, and there's that one bit in the show where they have the world's deadliest joke, and they like teach this deadly joke to soldiers in the language that they don't speak, in the enemy's language. So they're saying this, they're behind the sandbags and they're yelling out this joke in German, and they don't understand what they're saying, but the Germans do, and then all the Germans die of laughter on the other side of
Oh,
the
that's fucking brilliant.
That's a great skit, by the way. You should
Yeah.
absolutely watch that one.
Have you not seen
I
Monty
have
Python?
to now, but like that's so brilliant because like imagine like it's like all right. I'm gonna nerd out real quick, but like in the Elder Scrolls, if you read the Elder Scrolls, you may
Yeah.
be struck blind. You can
Yeah.
be struck blind, but if you're illiterate, you can look at an Elder Scroll all damn day and it doesn't affect you.
Mm.
And that and all that is rooted in
H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh my god, H.P. Lovecraft, where it's not just seeing something that is beyond your comprehension. It is the brief comprehension of the incomprehensible that then renders you insane.
Mm.
Yep.
Like
But like
like
people
like
who
like because like all right,
but
so
like
like an ant. Like imagine an ant crawling across a circuit board. Okay, the ant doesn't understand what he's crawling across. It's just some really weirdly shaped rocks. But like if the ant for a moment understood what he was crawling across, like understood the power of it and what its purpose was, so much bigger and more powerful than anything that they've ever created with their entire colony. If he could understand that for a moment and then go back to being an ant, he would go insane. If ants were capable of going insane, that's the equivalent of humans experiencing something way above and beyond anything that we would normally be able to understand, like seeing into the fifth dimension or whatever, and then going back to reality, like like you wouldn't be able to handle it.
and then there's people who, like in the words of H.P. Lovecraft, have more simple minds who aren't really affected by it because they just don't really think that deeply about it.
Yeah, they might witness Cthulhu in all its terrible, glorious form, and instead of understanding what it is, they'd just be like, smash.
Wood.
Would
Smash.
would smash.
It's the classic meme. Me looking at things beyond my comprehension. I don't understand this.
Yeah.
I really shouldn't put my penis in there.
Oh,
However-
Well, however,
yeah. All right. Cool. So, is there anything else you wanted to tell us about that story, Jest?
Nope. That's pretty much covers it.
All right. We'll go on to the next one, which is the 5-Second War.
She slapped our princess on the face and then gave up the fight. Raise your mugs to the 5-Second War. No blood was spilled, no settling score. She hit and quit with a legal twist. And 400,000 changelings made the housing list.
Yeah, give us your synopsis about that one.
Well, I've always tried to build up a headcanon for every episode, every interaction, how, like, well, what if, this was all according to plan? What if getting her ass beat immediately was, the perfect idea? How would that function? How would this make sense to be a good thing? And then you kind of built off of that, and then the 5-Second War came from that. And then I was like, I really like Chrysalis and Celestia. It is top tier pairing. I'm like, how do I explore that myself in a way that hasn't been touched before? With something a bit more long term, but only brief snippets. Like we're seeing one key interaction every, 5 seconds every 5 weeks, etc.
Yeah, I noticed after I read this that you have a lot of offshoots from this story. It starts with the 5 second war, and then I think you've got different amount of times of sequels that come after this.
Yeah, 5 weeks, 5 years, 5 decades, then what is it? 5 centuries, and then finally 5 millennia.
Days Later series.
Wow. So yeah, basically, Chrysalis manages to make a war last 5 seconds, and then uses all this political and legal stuff to get all of her changelings housing as I don't know. You can probably explain it better.
Yeah, well, they're officially, prisoners of war, but also it's unconditional. Therefore, you're obligated to feed them. And Ponyland being Ponyland, they of course have very generous laws for this. So if you're a POW in Ponyland, you've got 3 meals a day, you've got 4 walls, you've got a nice place to stay, you've probably have the ability to even leave if you really want to after a certain amount of time. So looking at her hole in the ground where she's been living, and then looking at pony POWs and going, you know what? That would actually be kind of nice, and I don't have to do anything.
That's probably why
it's like a homeless person mugging somebody to get to jail.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except the jail is like a 5-star hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and really,
Exactly.
since changelings eat love, it's like being a prisoner in Equestria is like swimming in the buffet.
Exactly. But it's like, so the question was like, well, how do you get there quickly and efficiently? Well, you pit Celestia against herself. She can't. She is like,
I think there's quite a lot of people that use kindness against someone. Like if someone's really kind and they're nice to everyone, they can get taken advantage of. I think that's what happened
she's
here to
using
Celestia.
that. She knows it's very, very lawful good. So if she gets into there fully legally and plays a bit on her sympathies, she knows that there's going to be no problems.
Oh, just mystery, just based on what you said there. It reminded me of another story where in it, the catalyst for the entire rest of the story is Fluttershy gets killed. And it turns into this whole long thing. And but the problem is that that's what kicks off everything. And Rainbow Dash basically says to the antagonist, if you kill the nicest of us, you're not gonna like who comes next.
Oh.
Ooh, that is a good line.
So
Chrysalis's
angle, just to get back on topic, Chrysalis's angle in this case is much more. It's actually brilliant. And kudos to you, man, for getting a 2,000-word story with 1,000 upvotes.
That is impressive.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And
we're talking 1,006.
Yeah, I mean, and the show ended in 2019. To get any story at all after 2019 to 1,000 upvotes is a feat.
And that's like
to do it
10 times more than
2,000 words.
That's 10 times more than the joke story got.
Yeah. The sequels did pretty good too. The immediate one afterwards, I didn't think of doing any kind of sequels, but then someone requested, okay, Chrysalis got one over on Celestia. What if the other way around? And it's like, you know what? I really enjoy that. 2 schemers going at it, but Celestia is no fool.
Yeah,
Celestia is at it again.
Rarity, I'm pretty sure you did pretty well with 570 upvotes. But yeah, how often does that happen? Getting 1,000 upvotes. Let's have a look through your stories.
Last one's going. Good.
Yeah, you're clearly a very popular author on Fimfiction. I see
Yeah.
your stories, hit the featured box a lot. Just when I'm browsing for new stories to read.
Yeah. First
Yeah, it doesn't
Law,
look like 1,000 happens
2,400.
often.
No, not terribly. It's always nice when it does, though.
All right, cool. So, have we finished with that story for now?
Seems like it.
Yep. So the next one is one that I've just read. I haven't started making the audiobook yet, and that is Double or Nothing.
The smirks are wide, no one here is satisfied. When pride's on the line, there's only one way. Raise the stakes and fly away. Double or nothing, call it again. Put it all on the line till the bitter end. Wings out, hearts pounding, daredevil pride. No backing out once you picked a side. Win it all or lose it clean. That's how races settle everything.
About it's got a bit of sort of kink in there, with Lightning Dust dressing as a maid because she lost a bet to Rainbow Dash. Is the basic premise. How would you describe the story?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Classic bet, and of course things that endlessly get raised. The stakes get raised, and Double or Nothing, as the name implies. Yeah.
Yeah, so you write a bit of action in this one with the race that they actually have to try to determine, who becomes the maid.
It was pretty fun, but it's difficult to make that kind of scene interesting in text. Visually, obviously, if you were to watch an animation or whatever, it's much easier to describe that. I really enjoyed that challenge.
I mean, you did a really good job of describing the race itself in a way that I can imagine it in my head of, Rainbow Dash flying up high and Lightning Dust being down in the canyon. The Ghastly Gorge, I think they were in.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the bits of advice that I give for writing physical scenes, or we could save this for the writing advice segment. So if you want to prompt me for that later, just like how do you write a scene that's about what's happening rather than prose.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, when we get to it. So, anything else you wanted to say about it?
No, that was a pretty standard story. I primarily enjoyed it for the writing the action, the beat by beat, trying to make that interesting to read, and adding some comedy on top, of course.
Finally giving Rainbow Dash some humble pie. It's good to see Rainbow Dash get humbled now and then.
Exactly.
I didn't actually get around to reading this, but I swear I've read a story that was like the same, if not similar. It might have been it might have been like one where Lightning Dust lost, and then she had to wear like a skimpy cheerleader outfit or something. But
Oh,
that's
yeah,
how it
it's
starts.
pretty standard prompt.
Oh, yeah. So was this a request from one of your patrons?
Yepers.
I bet you can get some pretty wild requests out of them.
Oh, yeah. The last bit before I closed down the Patreon, I had lots of really good ones. I honestly wish I had more time for
that. Do you have an example of some of the wildest prompts that... Are there any prompts that you were like, no, that's too far, that's too much, or something like that?
The one guy that
what
really
rating is this
stuff.
conversation going to go for?
Well, yeah, let's try to disguise anything too explicit.
Yeah, no. Thankfully, I don't have to do that because there was just one guy who really, really enjoyed like bald play. No sex involved, nothing else. He wanted female characters to shave their heads. and for the male characters to be bald. And
Oh,
that was it. That was the thing that he liked, and I'm like,
It's a new one.
respect, but
wait,
this
no,
is
I can.
weird.
I already have the story. You ready? It's what the hell? Cranky Doodle Donkey, who we know
Oh,
is
yeah.
bald, and Rarity after the shampoo incident from it's not the main thing about you.
Ah, I didn't
Yep.
know Rarity became bald at
Boom,
one
nailed
point.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
It was
just
just
Rarity, like it's just Rarity coming to terms with like with Cranky Doodle Donkey, because she believes that like the effects are permanent and now she's gonna be bald. She's just like, how do you do it? How do you go through life being bald, right? And then he, just talks about like, it's like it's just hair. You get over it. You can wear a hairpiece or a hat, and then like at the
Yeah.
very end, like she like finally like decides that like her value comes from within. It's not about her mane. It's not her like basically the same lesson she learns in the show. But then she gets her mane back anyway because everybody likes a happy ending. And then he's still bald. But she has a newfound respect for what he had to go through and she still has that wisdom of like, okay, fine. Like if I didn't have my beauty, I would still be a beautiful person. There you go. There's your
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, cool.
I have actually seen someone another story that was like probably similar to that, except it was like the main six decide to become monks and shave their manes, and Rarity has like a whole like uh, ritual of like disposing of her mane and like caring for it and making like one last taking one last day to like truly appreciate it before becoming a bald monk forever. I haven't read it, but I think it's on my read later list.
Yeah, no, people know what I like and what I dislike, and my boundaries are always very clear. So I haven't had to worry about too much of that. But this one was it's just odd. It was just like, I don't know. It's one of those, because I can understand why people are into just about everything, because you know it's usually power or usually whatever, or they like the angles or the characters or whatever. But like the bald thing, though, it's like feet. I just don't get it.
I mean, hooves are a lot better
Well, I
than
mean, like,
feet.
but just like imagine, I could see the appeal of it though, because like just imagine like Patrick Stewart, right? And then like he has a child with like Jaden Pinkett Smith, right? And then the baby comes out bald.
I don't know. I shave my head, so I should be able to understand it, but nope.
All right. All right. If that's all we've got for that one. I think I will actually swap the segments around a bit and we'll go to Shakespearicles. Legendary. Writing advice. Since, yeah, you seem eager to get into giving some advice there, Shakes.
All right, so to the very point of like, how do you write a story where the majority of it is action oriented, like a race, or a fight, or something a little bit more intimate, where there's just a lot of physical action going on. The key to that is not just doing a play-by-play commentary on what's happening on the the virtual screen, because if you're just talking about what someone would see if they were watching this on a TV show, then it becomes essentially, and I use the term in my writing seminars for M-rated stories, it becomes essentially IKEA porn, where you're just talking about rod A going to slot B, and that's not engaging reading. You have to remember that what's interesting to watch is not what's interesting to read, and what's interesting to write may not be what's interesting to read, and vice versa. So when it comes to a physically heavy scene like a fight where there's a lot of physical action, I would use the example of like, say, Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan Kenobi, in the first in A New Hope, where like if you watch that without knowing the history behind them, then it's a rather boring fight. Whereas especially when you compare it to like in Revenge of the Sith, where they're just fighting for 15 minutes straight, and because you know what's at stake at that point because you've watched everything that's happened up to that point. What you need to do as a writer, if you were to recreate that scene in text, is you have to use prose to not only describe what's happening, but also to fill in how each of the characters are feeling, not just what they're doing, but what they are sensing. And you can draw on all five senses, especially, and I'm gonna refer back to an intimate scene because this is kind of my wheelhouse. Is like, what do the characters not only see, but like, what does it sound like? What does it feel like for each of them? What does it smell like and taste like, if those are applicable senses to pull from? And by doing that, you will find that your prose will balloon out to 5 times what it would have been before. And so just saying, oh, they ran a race and so won, it becomes more than just, oh, they took this corner and then they took that corner and then she passed her and then she glared at her. And unless they're yelling at stuff, yelling things at each other back and forth, then it's going to become boring to read because you're not going to have lightsabers flashing around on the screen. It's just going to be Anakin started fighting with Obi-Wan, and then Obi-Wan said, "I have the high ground," and then that's not interesting.
Yeah,
You have
so
to
there's
talk about
been
what they're feeling.
yeah. So just to quickly interject, there's been a couple of rare times in my life where I feel like I've been reading a page and I forget that I'm reading a page and I'm actually watching a movie. Like it's written so well that I forget that I'm reading a page and it's like I'm experiencing a movie. One particular time I can remember that happening was when I was reading the first couple of chapters of The Magician by I think it was from the writer of the Betrayal at Crundor books. Damn, I can't believe I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, yeah. Like how does that happen? How do you end up forgetting that you're reading a page and it's written so well that you start experiencing a movie? Does that happen to you guys ever?
Yeah, and that's a hallmark of good writing. What people have described writing as being the original sorcery, not because it has anything to do with magic, but the magic of it is that you can take, pieces of charcoal and rub them onto pieces of dead wood, and then someone can look at it and then begin to hallucinate,
Yeah. So
like you're
just quickly,
describing.
it's a 1982 novel by Raymond E. Feist, The Magician, or just Magician. Just yeah, just wanted to get that information there. Oh, anyway, go on. Sorry.
But that's just it. Like anyone who's experienced a really good, really compelling, engaging, story book can tell you that's the magic of reading, where you get transported away to another world. And people will be saddened when the story ends and then they feel upset because like, oh, this character, like Harry Potter got to become a wizard and go on all these adventures and whatnot. But no, you as the reader got to go along with them on those same adventures together. That's the magic of reading. And if you can write uh, physical action and with good prose, where like I have had an example, a story that was almost 7,000 words long that was entirely a sex scene, but like rather than just describing it, it was so intercut with all of these flashbacks of all of their entire relationship leading up to this moment that it what it ends up doing is it pads out that scene, and so by the time you get done reading it, it's about the approximate length that it would take for someone in real time engaging in that session and moving through those phases like in real time, depending on how fast you read. Uh, and it fills that in with this whole story that's happening intercut with the action, and that helps to control pacing. So that way it's not just a 1,000-word fight scene and you read it and it's over in 3 minutes.
Yeah, cool. Um, Is there anything, Jess, that you wanted to ask Shake specifically for advice about?
No, I would offer my 2 cents on the same subject, though.
Yeah.
One thing people I see get wrong a lot is they don't really. How do I phrase this well? In that light scene, she wins not by being purely faster. You can't just be the guy that hits harder. You know, that's not enough. That's not interesting. If the fight comes down to two guys just hitting each other as hard as they can and they go, Steve won because he can hit harder, that's boring. You need some dynamicism. I'm not using that word correctly, but you know what I mean. You need to show their personality through the scene, through the action. She wins because she's more daring. She's more willing to take risks. And that makes up for any potential shortfall or physical shortfall. And it also kind of displays how Artie is not willing to take those crazy risks anymore because she has advanced as a character since then. And it allows the win to feel genuine. It allows the fight to feel genuine if you display their personality and have the win be more than just I hit harder or I am faster or I did X thing. It needs to be a conscious choice in action that enables the victory.
Yeah, and there's two ways that you can approach something like that, because you could take like the Karate Kid route where the Karate Kid, you could show this whole montage of him going through all this training and showing how much work he's putting into it, and then have the final fight and where he just wins. He's like, he hits hard and he wins. That's not engaging. What people admire a character more for trying and their effort more than succeeding. And so when you have the final fight and he goes to the Karate Kid goes through the final fight, the first thing that happens is he gets his ass kicked. He gets his face kicked, to be correct. He gets, but he starts out by losing, and then he makes this comeback from being the underdog. So that's why The Hoosiers is such a great movie, because people want to root for the underdog. The other thing, and I like how you approached it with what you were saying, is that you can have the antagonist win, but still lose in the meta sense. So in the same way they did in the episode, Lightning Dust wins, by being the fastest, but Rainbow Dash is still winning at life because she realizes you can buy trophies. She's got friends, and that's worth more.
Yeah. You can write a fight scene where there is a definitive winner, but no one lost.
There could be an alternate version of your pick where Lightning Dust just ends up dying from being too daring.
Okay.
And then there's a funeral at the end.
Okay, so Jest makes another fantastic point, and I'm loving having you as a guest here, because when you have a fight scene, fight in quotations is a very it's a nebulous term, because it could be a physical fight, it could be a mental fight, it could be an emotional or a fight, a battle of wills, an argument, and you might not even have a winner. Like you said, you could have a battle where there are no winners. You could have a battle where there are no losers, where the best outcome is that even the person who loses wins because of some other external reason. Yeah. You could have the fight be part of a larger ploy where someone throws the fight because of some other reason. You could have a situation with the mighty Casey, striking out, and he struck out. It was his battle with the pitcher there, but it turned out, oh no, he was throwing the game because of a bookie making a bet on that, and that the fight becomes part of a larger story.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much you can do with it beyond just the physical actions of what's happening in the fight itself.
And this is another 2 cents. Last thing, a bit of more of a pet peeve is just you need to have the fights be short, because if a fight is a fight, then it's punch, 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 it's grapple, it's down. If you ever watch a real fight, it's over in seconds usually. If it's a no holds barred conflict, like, it's over in 5 minutes unless people are wearing power armor and wielding pool noodles. Like, and that needs to go into the meta context of your sentence structure, your paragraphs length, your word choices. You're not going to add words like effervescent in the middle of a fight scene, because that's physically slows down the reader from reading the fight scene. So you want that pace to be on point. You want your word choice to be short. You want even your paragraphs to be short and your sentences to be short. Those, unless it like when you hit a lull, like say classic fight scene, the two back off from each other and have a moment of conversation. Then you can use longer, you can be more flowery with your word choices, etc. But the meta context of your fight scene needs to leak into the physical writing breakdown.
So I think this has turned into a segment that we can call Jest and Shakespearicles, a battle over giving the best advice. Because you guys seem to be on a similar level in terms of being really popular and prolific writers on Fimfiction, and you both really know what you're doing.
Yeah, this is fantastic. The advice about formatting based on what's happening is something that I talk a little bit about when it comes to like writing dialogue. Because when you're writing a child character, you're going to have their sentences be short and more simplistic, not just in their not just in their vocabulary, but in the structure of their sentences. Like they're going to speak more simply, more quickly. If you have a character like Pinkie Pie who's energetic, you write that in the same way, as opposed to like these long flowery sentences that Rarity might do when she's monologuing about something. And so, and when you're writing a fight, you want the pacing of the reading and the writing to match the energy of the scene, because it absolutely is something that a reader feels.
Yeah, because if you're spending 3 paragraphs talking about how, 2 riposts and 1 strike happens, like, that's boring, that's slow, we are reading, at 1 time, or, 50% speed, like, what's going on here? And for one example of a really good, and if you're doing it really well and you commit to it, you can ignore grammar, you can ignore the usual structure, like, Heart of Darkness is really the textbook example for this. When they get into the proverbial Heart of Darkness, there stops being paragraph breaks. Sentences run on for pages because they are in the realm of madness. They are beyond civilization's ken. They ignore the rules because the rules no longer apply, and those rules extend to even things like grammar. You have to be very on point with it. It's not something to ignore willy-nilly, but if you're really good and you have a really good feeling for how you want this to flow, and you feel like skipping a fucking paragraph or skipping a period
break, or
paragraph break or a period or whatever, you could do that. People hold on to grammar rules as like ironclad things, but some of the best literature to have ever been written ignores grammar. I mean, Shakespeare himself here made up lots of words, scrunched words together, made up his own grammar. Like, it may be a bit bold to invoke the bard, but you can ignore small things like that. You don't need to worry about it if your sentence is like too short to be a sentence. It could just simply be blank jabbed left, Bob jabbed down, etc.
Yeah, well, also,
there's no hard and fast rule. It's more like guidelines.
Well, that's just it. Like one of the first things I tell people, like when they attempt to do things like that, when they cite these examples of like, oh well, this book did this and this book did that. I'm like, okay, yeah, but you need to understand the rules before you try to break them, because you need to
Yeah.
break them in the right way in order to do it effectively. And coming back to Shakespeare, one of the other things that he's less known for was that when he would do stage direction. Um, I'm doing a tangent from a tangent. This is actually from the notes that someone took as a when they were trying to do piracy for his play. Like someone was trying to like write it down frantically, and they were writing down how the characters were acting and saying how they were acting very unprofessional. Because normally, when you were doing a play production, you had to speak not too quickly. You had to speak clearly, slowly, so that everyone in the audience could hear you, especially the people way in the back. And one of the things that Shakespeare, I don't want to say pioneered, but one of the things he definitely knew how to do well was like when he was having characters go crazy. Hamlet is a good example. He specifically directed them to speak faster, to slur their words, to spit when they were talking, to kind of really emphasize that they were going crazy. And like it made it hard for to understand the characters, but the audience understood that they were losing their minds, and that was the point of the scene.
Yeah, it's more important that you understand the theme or what you're going for than the actual words they're saying. It could just be a slurry, a mess of half-congealed sentences leading, that lead on and going nowhere. But as long as you get the vibe of what's going on, that's more important.
All right. Cool. We got a lot out of that, which is great for, getting the time up on this podcast. And we're about to hit an hour. So I'll go into the next segment, which is Who is Best Pony? What is Best Episode?
Best episode? That's hard. Best pony, obviously. Pinkie Pie, of course.
Okay.
Pinkie
I
Pie is
know, my
always
favorite.
watching.
Well, thank you
Exactly.
for finally picking a main six. You're the first guest who has actually picked a main six.
As for episode, though, I might give me some of your guys's. Let me get some and get the juices flowing.
Mine is Winter Wrap Up because it's just pure classic.
Mine is kind of the two rarity episodes, Suited for Success and Dog and Pony Show, because they're the episodes that changed my mind on rarity to the most dramatic degree. So yeah, they're two of my most memorable for that reason.
Mine is a royal problem because my favorite pony is Celestia, and having a episode strongly featuring her and Luna, with Starlight as icing on that cake, just made that my favorite episode. And as for you, I would think that A Friend Indeed would be your favorite episode.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I really like Pinkie Pie. But Princess Twilight, it's a maligned episode, but it was one of those that finally sold me on the world building. It was, I'll say, oh my god, this is actually a show with depth. And that's...
But would you, now, was that specifically because of the flashbacks?
Kind of both, because it was like the season ending, and Discord obviously stole the show. Fantastic episode.
Because here's the thing, because I'm currently writing a story that deals with the time period after Celestia and Luna became the princesses of Equestria, but before Luna gets banished. And so I've been going back and doing a lot of rewatching of the relevant episodes. So like anything regarding the pillars of Equestria, those flashback scenes, and it got me thinking, like, okay, so in the flashback scene where they're fighting Discord, and also when she becomes Nightmare Moon, you see Luna post season 2, like the post season 2 Luna, with the form that we all know and love. And I was thinking, like, okay, but like when she came back from being Nightmare Moon in the pilot, she looked differently, and I was expecting to see that version of Luna in those flashbacks. So like now I'm having to write around why that is. And I don't want to just say, oh, well, because the animators made a decision or whatever, some kind of meta technical reason. Like I want there to be an in-universe reason why her appearance looked like that in that episode one time.
Yeah,
It's an interesting conundrum.
why is Pinkie Pie your best pony?
Well, I'm a comedy man. Thus the name. Thus the majority of what I enjoy to write. I don't. I wish that she was more well-rounded. I wish she had some more.
She's a good
Depth,
delivery
some
mechanism
motivation.
for humor. In general.
Exactly. She's usually the punchline, but I always see the potential there. And even when it might not even be there, it might be in my head, but I still appreciate
It's not
it.
in your head. She does have a lot of hidden depth.
She's got so much depth, and it's not hidden. Like I realize that she's the one that's all happy and bubbly and smiles the most, but she's also like one of the most emotionally fragile characters in the show, along there,
yeah.
right up there with Fluttershy. Like the one where she
True.
had the freaking bagpipe, that episode, where like she
Yeah.
loved this thing and she loved playing it, and then people were just like, "No, man, we don't like listening to that," and it fucking crushed her. It crushed her soul, and like she was just empty, like her bagpipe there, until they finally said, like, "Look, we don't like the thing, but we like you, and we want you to be happy. So play your thing, you know." And then she was happy again. Like it just shows that she's not just like perpetually in the zone of being euphoric all the time.
So sometimes I
She's
think
also
when I see people that are like that are constantly euphoric, I think they're kind of trying to shield themselves from realizing that they're not that as happy as they make themselves out to be, at least to the external world.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're wrong for that assumption on everybody, but I would say for most people, like I'm going to use Robin Williams as an example because the people who knew Robin Williams will tell you the people who smile the most are the ones who have felt the most pain, and they don't want anyone else to ever feel that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got an answer, a true answer. I fucking love Party of One.
Oh yeah.
Best episode.
That is,
I mean,
yeah,
that is a very memed on episode for a lot of different reasons.
but it's also just a classic.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously where we see Pinkie get very emotionally fragile.
Yeah, and I won't go into too much personal detail, but I've definitely been there. I am definitely sitting at home wondering, oh God, have I been ditched? Do they hate me? What's going on? Is this an innocent fuck up on someone's part? And that kind of nebulous social anxiety is... Ugh.
Yeah, man, there's like
It's
so many
real.
times, like, for example, finding out whether I'm going to be living here another 6 months or not. I go through like anxiety of just wanting to find out, just wanting to pick up the phone and find out if, I've got to, like, just the relief of knowing that I am going to be here another 6 months. But then the couple of days before that, when I didn't know, it was like agonizing, and it was hard to enjoy things, while I had that hanging over my head about whether I was going to be worrying about moving out. And I think that sort of, yeah, you get that anxiety if you think your friends have ditched you, or, you don't know how they feel about you, and you're kind of desperate to know the answer, whether it's good or bad, so that you can just start,
Yeah. You almost want it to crystallize. You almost want them to hate you, because at least that
you have
would
an
be
answer.
an answer.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
would, well, no, it would validate your feelings.
Yeah.
Is what
One way or the
that
other.
boils down to. So what I recommend to people with a lot of anxiety like that, where while the anxiety is real, what it's based on might not be. What I recommend is go to an active war zone.
Oh yeah, that's easy.
go
Great
to
advice.
all right, because here's the thing. I used to be an anxious person, but then I enlisted in the military and I went to an active war zone. And so while we're there, like you hear like the alarms going off, like, oh, what's that alarm about? Like, oh, that's the mortar alarm. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, oh, it means they're shooting mortars at us right now. And like you would hear explosions happening around you, but like you're just like, well, what if we get hit? Like, don't worry, dude. It's so windy around here that if we actually get hit by a mortar, it's going to be out of blind luck. And like, well, what do we do? Well, you go back to sleep because otherwise you're just going to be tired tomorrow. And like, that's rough to get over. But like, after a few weeks, you just kind of get used to it. You're like, you wake up, you hear the mortar alarm going off, and then you just go back to sleep because, like, all right, whatever, man. If it's my time, it's my time. And I'll tell you, after having that happen to you, when you come back from that, wondering about whether or not your friends like you gets the volume turned way down.
Well, if you're not interested in visiting Kharkiv sometime soon in order to adjust your anxiety problems, you could also do what I did, which was just a mixture of careful analysis, like, all right, let's take a look at what things have happened. Is there actual evidence to support this wild assumption of mine? And if there isn't, you have to tell yourself, I'm going to embrace a sort of wild. What do you believe when you believe good things are going to happen? You have I'm forgetting the word for it.
Yeah, it's sort of a placebo effect. You can
You have a very
into.
positive outlook. Whatever, it'll come to me. You have to embrace the wild positivity there. You have to think of yourself, well, if there's a chance, one way or the other, I choose to believe in the positive aspect because that's what I want to happen, and that's what's probably happening because I have respect and appreciation for my friends, and I will not denigrate them by believing that they secretly hate me.
Yeah, cool.
Positivity, that's what I was thinking of. Optimism.
Yeah. All right. Is that all we wanted to talk about in that segment?
Seems like it.
Okay. All right. There's these two segments. I was meant to do one of these earlier. It's just I want to ask you just about your future plans and if there's any stories that you recommend by yourself that people should read.
My personal, all right, well, future possibilities. Soon I was going to be putting up a lot of my incomplete stories up for adoption. I need to talk to the admins because I've kind of realized that this ship, unfortunately, has kind of sailed. My interest has peaked, and it's been there for like over a decade, but it's kind of on the downturn now. I've still got some projects that are coming out, and I've still got some lingering commissions to deal with, so there's still going to be stuff coming out, but big, huge projects like a major revamp of First Law and those ones, I know I don't have it in me, so you can look forward to if you have plans, if you have ideas and concepts for any of my incomplete stories, you'll be able to hit me up and possibly adopt them. So
yeah, a lot of us bronies are getting old now.
Yeah,
they're becoming geriatric.
Yeah, like I just got a house, moved in with a girlfriend, I got a job, yeah, life moves on, and I would love nothing more than to have all the time in the world to go back, to rewrite everything, to finish everything, but
yeah.
But no, they all got to focus on
time
now.
Time passes faster and faster as you get older because each year is a smaller percentage of the overall time that you've lived, and it just feels shorter and shorter each year.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it when people younger than me say that.
I'm not
that
much younger than you, I don't think, Shakes.
Yeah, you don't think.
Okay. I know I'm
anyway,
I'm like 3 years off of as old as Scarlett. Something like that.
Anywho, last future stuff. My only current project that I've got going on now is just a 40k fan fiction called The Lady of Iron. If you haven't checked it out, it's pretty good. I like it a lot. It's going to be pretty much my only thing that I do publicly. So I really want to get a book out. I really want to do that stuff, but between having a house and having all that good stuff, I don't have a lot of time left. Or time left. That's morbid. I don't have a lot of time left in the day to do other things.
Yeah. All right. Okay, now our next segment. Oh, unless you
recommendations. 1 sec.
All right.
I almost forgot. Give me 1 second here. In the meantime, y'all have any good recommendations? Some recent reads?
I do. All right. So there's a story that I've kind of become a bit obsessed with called Cross the Rubicon Choices. It's basically a Syset shipfic, but like it's so much more than that. And it's just the person who wrote it is my current favorite author, and is just I just cannot say enough good things about this story. So, yeah.
Levi, I'm sitting right here.
I know.
Oh, is it a Shake story? Is it?
No, the author is called Majidin, Majadin.
Oh, I think I might have read at least one of his stories. That names is familiar. Yeah,
I did recommend one of her stories to you.
Yeah, you might have done that when I asked for holiday stories. And yeah, I added all the ones that were less than 5,000 words to my list. And they'll be done soon. So it depends if it's one of those.
Although if you pronounce it properly, it's still knocked. It's
yeah, that's coming up. Yeah, that's on my list. It'll probably be after Heartswarming because I've got some other fics that I'm doing, and I'm not going to get through all the Heartswarming ones until probably 31st of December. So there's going to be a couple of Heartwarming ones that happen after Christmas.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to listening to your audiobook, a reading of it.
Cool.
All right, I got some recommendations. Most of these are old. I can't recall. I haven't been favoriting as much as I used to, but the 41-second goddess, hilarious, 10 out of 10. I'll be dropping links in the Discord, so if you want to snag them from there.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
Well, actually,
sorry,
one thing that one thing that I've been battling with, especially with YouTube's all-out admission to using AI algorithms to moderate YouTube and stuff like that. I've been a bit afraid to have links to Fimfiction on my videos, which is kind of required if I'm going to give proper credit to authors that I read. But yeah, I'm always afraid because one of my former rivals in this space, by the name of Straight to the Point Studios, one of the reasons that he decided to retire was that he got sick of constantly getting strikes and stuff from having links to Fimfiction. And those can get flagged by YouTube just because they can lead to adult content, even though you've got to log in and everything in order to access the adult content on Fimfiction. Just because it is there, YouTube has been known to strike channels. So I'm
it's just because Fimfiction.net is flagged. The entire domain is flagged as an adult domain because they have adult content in it.
Either way.
So I'm wondering if I not have any links. Like I've considered going back to all my videos and removing the fanfiction link out of fear that YouTube will delete my channel if I don't do that. It's a bit scary.
Well, no. What you do is like just have a broken link. You do the HTTP and then space. Like you break it up so that way it doesn't actually create the hyperlink. It's just text.
Right.
Classic. What are the numbers? What do they mean?
Yes.
But no, I'll drop in the Discord. You do whatever it is you want to do, just
Yeah.
so we know we're on the same page. Either way, fantastic little story. Because the scene where she gets superpowered is hilarious, and imagining the long-reaching consequences and the lore implications is very funny, and the final joke is phenomenal. I got 2 short little ones, recommendations as well. Just 2 clones having dinner. Phenomenal. Another one that's basically one scene told really well with some good lore implications, etc. And finally, laughing her way to the bank, where Pinky is the richest pony in history and she has no idea why. Phenomenal. Yes, they are all featuring best pony. So
Cool. All right. Now we'll go on to what I think is the final segment. Leviathan Eclipses. Headcanon Extravaganza. So I think you're going to talk about cats this time.
Well, there is there's the fact that ponies are part cat. Earth ponies and unicorns, they are cat ponies, whereas Pegasi are cat bird ponies. And then there's bat ponies that are just bat cat ponies.
I thought griffins were bird cats.
Well, they don't have any pony in them, so that means
So
they're just griffins.
hippogriffs.
They're not Pegasi.
Hippogriffs are bird cat ponies.
I think I'll edit in a picture on the video here. That you showed earlier in the Discord of the comparison between Rainbow Dash and a cat.
Yeah. No, hippogriffs are bird cat horses. There's a difference between ponies and horses.
There's a subtle distinction.
Yes. On a side note, a headcanon that I think our guests will appreciate. Pinkie Pie is unironically one of, if not the most responsible ponies in the show.
easily.
When the chips are down, Pinkie is always a solid bet. She is not just like a ditz or a clown. She has like a lot. She is very intelligent. She has like practically perfect recall.
Hey, just
And-
one thing that I wanted to mention earlier that I forgot
What's up?
is I feel like each of the main 6 have got different kinds of comedy that they do. So, Pinkie Pie's the obvious one for, the laugh out loud comedy. But I think I really appreciate Applejack being the sarcastic, down to earth, snarky kind of comedy.
But that's just because like you're forgetting about pre-season 3 Twilight Sparkle. She used to be snarky.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
And
Oh,
I
snark.
miss that. Like when she got wings, she lost her snark.
Ah.
Yeah.
Princesses can't be snarky.
Twilight, it's raining. No, really?
Oh, so good. It was so good.
Oh yeah.
All right, so here's a question then. All right, if Pinkie Pie is what the hell's the word I'm trying to think of here?
Unironically.
Unanimously, if Pinkie Pie is unanimously the most responsible pony, I think we can all agree on that. Like when the chips are down, who is the least
Oh, yeah.
responsible? And don't say it yet. I'm gonna count down from 3, and we're all gonna say it at the same time. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Rainbow Dash.
Fluttershy.
Rainbow Dash.
Fluttershy. Who said Fluttershy?
I said Rainbow Dash.
The one who has a freaking animal conservatory that she's responsible for? No, the least responsible pony is the element of loyalty.
Yeah, it seems most of us agree with that.
Look at
True.
Rainbow Dash is easily one of my favorite characters. Okay, but responsibility, no.
I mean, I
I
kind of
mean,
love Rainbow Dash. Like, I enjoy Rainbow Dash just because she highlights a lot of things that I hate in a lot of people that I've met, and she brings comedy to that. You know, so yeah, it's kind of hate watching is what I do with Rainbow Dash, and enjoying the humor behind how the show makes fun of the things that she does. Very egotistical and all
I'm
that.
trying to remember if responsibility is one of Rainbow Dash's middle names.
I'm pretty sure it is.
That
Responsibility is
Oh,
my middle
checkmate.
name.
Rainbow Responsibility Dash. Not to be confused with Rainbow Danger Dash. Or Rainbow
cousins.
Trouble Dash.
Yeah.
But I guess I could see that, but yeah, I just kind of said Fluttershy on reflex because she's my least favorite of the main 6.
Rude.
Hey, it's okay. It's just his least favorite. Okay, that's still the tin badge, the tin medal.
Yeah, she's definitely not worst pony. That's Shining Armor.
at least Rainbow Dash
Damn,
is better than
we're just gonna
Scootaloo.
keep on fighting about this.
I will die on this hill.
Yes, you will.
Oh. Yeah, that's
We have fun times.
absolutely.
No, Zephyr Breeze is obviously the worst. Come on.
No. Okay, here's the thing.
All right, I want to
Zephyr
hear. Yeah, I want to
Breeze-
hear this argument. Okay, because how is Shining Armor worse than Zephyr Breeze?
Okay, Zephyr Breeze has always been terrible, right? Like he's just always been like this loser neckbeard, right? Shining Armor used to be like pinnacle, top tier, Big Brother material, to the point that like Twilight sang a whole ass song about it.
It's not creepy.
Hey
Not that song.
man,
Okay,
it's your
2 versions of
podcast. You
Twilight
can edit
both
that.
sang songs about it. Anyways, then he just then you like actually meet him, and then you keep meeting him throughout the series, and no, he is not. He is no longer top tier Big Brother material. He keeps taking advantage of Twilight, um, basically having his entire world completely revolving around his wife. And meanwhile, his wife actually takes time out of her busy schedule to like spend time with Twilight.
Isn't this what all Big
Meanwhile,
Brothers do eventually? Isn't
I
it
just
like,
turned into a
don't
wife
remind
guy.
me. Don't remind me, man. Don't
oh, it's happened to you,
remind
hasn't
me.
it?
Yeah, it has.
Huh. Well, there you go. I think
I
we can see
I
where it
used
comes
to
from
have
then.
He
I
got
used to
married
have a
to
Big
Kate.
Brother.
He got married to Cadence, and he got his brain sucked out.
I mean, sort of. I mean, he did get married to a psychopath, and now they're getting divorced. But like, he also moved across the country, so like, I rarely ever talk to him.
Wow, it's almost like he moved to the
Whereas,
Crystal Empire.
kinda, um, whereas at least Big Mac stayed on the family farm.
I mean, if I grew up in a family farm, I'd probably be pretty eager to leave it once I discover the internet. I don't think I'd want
Uh,
to stay there. Even though, by the way,
I'm just
McCloud's
imagining,
Daughters is one of my favorite
that, that
shows.
conversation with like Sugar Bell talking to AJ, like, all right, AJ, we're gonna be consummating our wedding night, so maybe earplugs.
oh, did not need that mental image.
And then like the next morning, like, look, I understand y'all being loud last night, but Mac, why'd you have to yell my name?
Oh, yes, yes, I've read your Shakespearecy theory.
Actually, all right. If I'm gonna get a chance to recommend a story, I would recommend "May I Watch" by me. It's
Of course
hilarious.
you. It is hilarious. I will give you that.
Is it
So
safe for work?
first,
Here's the thing too. The thing I love the most about that story has nothing to do with the main characters of the story. It's one of my favorite writings of Rainbow Dash, just being a drunk dash hole.
Hmm.
So like if you only read like the first part of the first chapter just for that, like that's fine. I had so much fun writing that one.
you do write a pretty hilarious Rainbow Dash.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed your portrayal of Rainbow Dash in that fic that I should not mention here that I read before I was stuck with only doing safe for work ones.
You know, that one fic.
Yeah,
The one.
that shall not be
Uh,
named.
oh
Shakes
really? We're
knows
not
which one I'm
naming it?
talking about.
See, now I was gonna say, oh gosh, oh my God, there's so many now. They're all flooding back. Like obviously it's probably not Liquid Pride, Cat's Cradle. But the other one where I had one of my favorite Rainbow Dash versions was oh my God, I was in a fugue state when I wrote it. I can't remember it now. I can't remember my own stories.
Yeah, I
Anyways, talk
can't
about
either.
something
Don't
else. I'll
worry
get
about
back to you.
Oh man. Yeah.
Imagine writing so much you forget.
it. I
No,
had to
freaking
remind myself for this one.
Stephen King did that, so he's doing pretty well for himself.
Just got to keep notes.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway,
Anywho,
anywho, so yeah, Levi, did you want to continue to talk about cat ponies? Or are we done
um,
with that now?
I mean, I basically just said the whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
ponies are part cat, and Pegasi are cat bird ponies. Um,
firm agree.
if you need
Cat
any
cat
evidence that
accepted.
ponies are cats, then you can just uh, check out any screen capture of Twilight sitting as a loaf, because she does that multiple times, and it's adorable.
Yeah, no, I like how you're like, you were queuing up, like, if you need any evidence, I was gonna be like, just watch this show. It's basically canon.
Yeah, yeah. And also, they have way more dexterity than a horse should. More like a cat's dexterity. And I should know
There
because
you
I
go.
have a cat who is very dexterous.
Elgato.
All right. So if we're done with the headcanon segment, now I'm just gonna leave you guys to banter about anything that you feel was left unsaid earlier. If you want to elaborate on anything that we talked about throughout the episode, you can go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna go and get a quick drink. So don't you guys say anything naughty while I'm gone that I have to edit out. Be back in a few minutes.
Sounds good.
Okie dokie Loki. Oh man. I'm just thinking back to when I first read Stormageddon, and oh, that's why Pound Cake hates himself. Understandable.
Oof.
Yeah, no, I've got like, I only have two ways of writing that. It's like either the characters like beat themselves up over it, or they're just way too into it.
Yeah. You are really good at writing that, though. Like both sides of that coin.
Shut up, baby. I know it.
Well, on that
Yeah.
note,
Shakes doesn't need his ego stroked anymore. I mean, I already said he's the best writer in the universe. Does
That's
his
like
ego
part of
really
the
need to
intro
get any bigger than
one.
that?
I
True.
mean, I feel like I've read some stories that could give Shakespearicles a run for his money.
Oh, that sounds like blasphemy.
Cross the Rubicon.
Actually, I think I did a Discord poll where I said who is the greatest writer, and it was like Shakespearicles, and then I don't know, I said someone else or something. I think you were like one of the few people to not say Shakespearicles. It was
Oh,
like,
me?
oh,
Oh, yeah, you. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I gotta get rolling here soon. So
Yeah, same. It's like 2 hours past my bedtime.
All right. I'll just quickly do the outro. So thank you guys for joining me, and I'm hopefully going to have TCC56 on next if he's willing to yet. He told me that he was too busy at the moment.
Well, yeah, he's helping me run Jingle Miss, so it's not going to be until January.
Yeah, that's cool because I've now got, with these 4 episodes that we've recorded in short succession, I'll have them last for like a month. It's being released.
Yeah,
each week.
I will volunteer for this sort of stuff. I'll put myself out, but like I will not have you coming after my lieutenants.
fair enough.
All right. So if you want to get the pre-show banter that we had for about 15 minutes before this show, you can get access to that by becoming a member of my channel for $1.49 AUD a month. And as I said last episode, if I get to 100 members, I will start reading fics that aren't allowed on YouTube again. So I've only got 96 to go. So, yeah.
Nice.
I'm pretty
Best of
close.
luck.
Pump up those numbers.
You got to have
Those
goals.
numbers.
Well, one thing that's interesting about the 4 members that I have so far is that 3 of those 4 members are people I did a reading for, made an audiobook of their writing, and they seem to have joined me as a member out of appreciation for that. So
There you go.
I don't really have any people that just listen to my show that seem to have become members yet.
Oh,
Hopefully, yeah.
Give it time.
All right.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Jest.
Y'all have a great night.
All right. Catch you later.
All right. Good night, Internet.
It's the Mystery Pony Fiction Channel. Mystery. Also available as a podcast on Spotify. Pony and Dizzy Moonbow is best pony, by the way.